Hey, welcome to our Zoom tonight. JC, I see you're here. Thanks for coming. We will get started with Dr. Trudy Holmes Kane. So we are coming to you tonight from the Student Center, so Student Success Center. So you have a lot of resources available here. So on your screen, you'll see Dr. Holmes Kane and Alicia Harris. Alicia is one of our advisors, and she is a life coach for students coming into psychology. So you will receive $500 tonight. So JC, if you just want to tap into the message area for me, your first and last name, so I can make sure that I get that scholarship awarded to you, that would be fantastic. And then if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can put them in there as well, or we'll have some live back and forth question and answer at the end. So without further ado, take it away.
Okay, so hello, guest. We're glad that you're here. We're very excited about new people and psychology. So we're going to get started with our psychology presentation. And if you have questions, you can write them in the chat, or you can wait till the end and ask, and we can do our best to answer. All right, so right now I'm sharing on the screen our front page for our presentation. And notice after psychology program, it says become an agent of change. And that's what our psychology program is about helping students learn how to help others improve, change, better themselves in some way, or help the psychology students themselves change. So I think that's a big theme of psychology, and we'll just take a look at how that happens. First, before I get into that, I have a little true and false quiz. So no, I'm not going to ask you to answer the questions and put you on the spot, but the items in the quiz are some myths and ideas and popular sayings about psychology that I love to go over and get people to start thinking about what they know about psychology already. So the first one that I have says psychologists can read people's minds. And that is false. Psychologists can't read people's minds. Nobody can read anybody else's mind. We haven't learned how to do that yet. There are all kinds of fancy computer programs that can help you use your mind to direct what's going on outside, but we can't actually read your thoughts. The next one says all psychologists are therapists. Now, as we have come to the time in the world when people realize how important mental health is, there are a lot of people who are therapists, and a lot of people come to me, for example, and because I'm a psychologist, they think I'm a therapist. But we have psychologists who are therapists and psychologists who do other things. And that's part of the fun of psychology, is that there are a lot of different options about that you can pursue. Psychologists can subliminally influence people, true or false. And so subliminal influencing means that I can show you something that you're not consciously aware of, but it's causing you to change your behavior. So I could subliminally, below your conscious level, be saying something like, eat chocolate, eat chocolate. And in theory, you would be influenced to eat chocolate and you wouldn't even know that someone was influencing you. So you can subliminally send messages to people, whether visually or auditory. That is a thing that can happen, but usually they're not strong enough to make you do things. They've done research on it, and it doesn't work really well. Thank goodness. We could have some people manipulating people badly now. Psychologists are involved in influencing public practices and policies. And this is an important one, and it's true because there are psychologists at several different levels in different areas who are influencing government, influencing schools, influencing healthcare, and many different areas, even environmental policy. And so psychologists, again, have a lot of different options of things they can do to help change. All right, so what happens when you study psychology at Union? First, we're going to meet the professors. So I'm starting with the other person. Our other full-time professor is Dr. Melanie Gabbert. She is a developmental psychologist, and she is also a therapist. So that's two different things. She teaches a lot of the psychology classes that many people have to take, not just psychology majors, like Introduction to Psychology, Developmental Psychology, and Social Psychology, as well as some of the more specific to psychology majors ones like Human Sexuality. She teaches other classes, but those are some of the main ones that she does. And then there's a little bit about me. I'm an educational psychologist by training. I teach psychology classes that have to do with learning how to write and research in psychology. So I try to make it as fun as possible. I also teach a lot in psychology of religion. It's my new favorite area that I do a lot of research and study in. And there are some other classes there as well. And then we have some other teachers who are not full-time at Union College, but they come in, they are people who work in the fields like counseling, alcohol and drug treatment, and they come in and they teach single classes for us. And we really like having those teachers because they're able to come to you directly from the world of application and help you to see how they're using the information and the things that they're talking about. All right, so already you would have realized that psychology is about choices. The major of psychology is about choices, as you can do quite a few different things with your psychology major when you're done. So a degree at Union College from a psychology degree can prepare you to be an alcohol and drug counselor, for example. You can do that without going on to get a master's degree. You can take the classes here and do the practicum here, and then you can apply to the state of Nebraska, the health department, and they can give you your license so that you can practice as a alcohol and drug counselor. You could get a job as a human service worker, whether as a caseworker or case manager or a behavior specialist with your bachelor's degree without going on for an additional master's degree. Most of the time, you will want to get a graduate degree because the better jobs that allow you to do more things and give you better pay require you to have a master's degree. So you can get a master's degree in counseling or school counseling, which are slightly different from each other. You could get a graduate degree, a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. Clinical or counseling psychology is similar to counseling, but you have a doctorate degree and you can do more things, takes longer to get. But you also have a lot of influence and earn more money with those. You can get a degree in school psychology, which also comes with more options. It's not school counseling. It's a different thing where you can work in schools to help with the special education, gifted education, lesson planning, many of those things. So several options for application, and then there are options for research degrees where you become a psychology professor and you do research along with that. Or you become a psychology professor and don't do as much research, and you get a doctorate degree in order to do that. All right, some other things to know about the choices. So you have all these different choices. You come to Union, you do your psychology major. Along the way, you have to figure out, how do I actually choose which one I want to do? So in order to help people with that challenge, we have classes that are just specifically to help you figure out what the options are, how to get there, and what are the steps that you need to take to go in the direction you want to go. So we help you to set your goals, and then we help you to figure out how to reach those goals. All right. We also have practicums, so internships that help you to develop the skills. You have an internship for the alcohol and drug counselor, but you also have other internships you can do where you are just working in the area. We've had people do a school psychology internship and then go on to do a school psychology doctoral degree, for example. So they're very helpful in letting you know whether you want to do this thing or not. And then finally, we spend a lot of time with you personally to help you figure out your direction. We talk, we interact, we do research together. By the time we've done all the things, we get a better idea of who you are and can help you with some ideas about the direction you want to go in. And finally, as you're trying to actually get going to your next level, we try to help you problem solve as much as possible. All right, so a couple of stories, or at least information about people who have graduated from Union and what directions they've gone in with their psychology. So therapists, most of our graduates who have gone on in psychology have become therapists. So in Lincoln alone, I can think of 2 or 3 people right off the top of my head who are Union graduates who went to get master's degrees at different schools and are now therapists here. They offer bilingual services, for example. Some of them became drug and alcohol counselors. And I can think of marriage and family therapists. None of them are in Lincoln, but in different parts of the country that are graduates from Union College who went on and got master's degrees in marriage and family therapy. School counselors. I particularly am thinking here of a student that we had graduate within the last 4 years, and she is a school counselor. Since she graduated, she went to school to get her master's in school counseling, and she's been a school counselor at her school where she graduated from, her high school, and she's worked there now for 2 years, and it seems like her students love her and she loves what she's doing. So stories like that make me feel really happy because I feel like I've helped you get to the place where you want to be, and then you're satisfied. Clinical psychologists, we have more than one student that I can think of again, who left Union College, went to graduate school and did PhD clinical psychology. One of them did neuropsychology as well as clinical psychology. So she would test people who had brain damage, who were having difficulty functioning, PTSD, all of that. She would do all of those assessments and make recommendations. Another one, I was just looking at the webpage at the Cleveland Clinic today, and she's there. She works with people who have health problems and obesity problems and surgery to help them be prepared, to help them be able to be successful once they've had their surgery. So a lot of different options even within those areas. Then school psychology is another area where we have a couple of graduates that are in the Lincoln area who practice, who work with the school, the public school district, and they test students and work in schools to help students function better. And then finally, research psychologists. We have a few people who have graduated who have gone on to do that. One special person that I have in mind is somebody who is now studying at the University of Nebraska here in Lincoln, and he is doing a research psychology degree in social psychology. And he told me recently that he's hoping to become a professor when he's finished with his research psychology. He'll do a little bit of research on the side, but he really wants to be a teacher because he's got a lot of practice doing that in his PhD program. So lots of positive stories that I can think of. And I feel very proud and happy of these students because we've helped them to get to where they want them to be. And that's what we want to be able to do for you as well. So one other thing I want to show you, and I'm changing the screen a little bit here. So our website, on the Union College website, the psychology section has this page where it's telling stories about different students that we have who have graduated and what they've gone on to do. And it also tells you a little bit about what psychology can do. But one of the reasons I wanted to share this is because here, aside from Jordan, who is a therapist in California and loves being a therapist, he talks about all the things he's able to do all the time, is that we also have Mark, who did psychology, did really well, but when he was finished, decided to do something else. And so psychology gives you a lot of good foundation that you can use. And sometimes we have a few people who do different things instead of becoming therapists or researchers or all these other things. And we've had a few people who have become physicians and gone to medical school, people who have gone to law school using their writing skills and research skills that they've gotten from psychology. Or we have people like Mark who have become entrepreneurs. So success can come in a lot of different ways from what we do here. And we try as much as possible to help you figure out what that direction is. All right, I think that's everything. And so if you have any questions, you can write your question in the chat.
Alicia, if you want to talk about a little bit of how like student success in your role works for students, that would be amazing.
I sure can. So the reason I'm on this Zoom is because, like Lucy said before, I am the academic freshman advisor for psychology. And so I am the person who helps get your schedule started. So if you make a deposit to Union, you will be hearing from me. I will bother you with a lot of emails and text messages so that we can get you registered for classes. And so part of my job is to really make sure that you have a really good experience starting off at Union. So we try and establish a really strong foundation by getting you in all the right classes so that you can follow, if you choose, the 4-year degree plan that Union has laid out for psychology. So you would keep me for the first semester and I would be your advisor. And then in the second semester, your spring semester, we do an academic advising handoff and we pass you off to the experts in the field. So you would actually get an advisor from the psychology department who would continue the work. And so my department is to make sure you succeed. That's in our department's name. But we want to be able to offer you guys resources as well. So we have things like tutoring, career services, and of course, academic coaching. And so Union is really special because we are a little bit small. We have the ability to be able to cater to you guys' needs and give you a lot of one-on-one support. And that happens a lot in the psychology department as well. We really care about you guys as students and want to make sure that you get to your goals because like Trudy says, it makes her happy as well to see you guys get to those goals. So we start you guys off in student success and then we pass you on to the experts so that they can give you the resources so that you can continue to reach your career goals. So that's a little bit about my role and yeah.
And even after you've Alicia isn't your advisor anymore. She's still there that you can go hang out or give,
Oh,
ask for help and
yes.
support.
Yeah, I don't go away completely. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Holmes. I don't want to go away completely. I just do your academic advising. And so from then on, you'll get a new academic advisor, but you can still come to see me whenever you need academic coaching. So that support doesn't go away just because you become a sophomore. That resource, I'm available to you whenever you need. So
Awesome, awesome. Jesse, any questions for us? You don't have to come on screen, but if you have anything on your mind, feel free to turn your mic on and let us know. All right. I think no questions. That sound right. All right. Any parting words, Dr. Holmes-Kane?
Well, I'm looking forward to my freshman class. I have a class with the freshmen in the fall, and I'm looking forward to all people. So hopefully you'll be here. But if not, or if you decide you need to do something different besides psychology, that's okay. I'm still here for you, and so are the rest of us.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Any questions? I did put the email address in there for Trudy, and so you can go back and look for that. Otherwise, we can always connect further if you need anything else. All right. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Hey.
Mhm.